Barcode and UPC.
Ultimate Perfect Combo!
At times, I like to think it's amazing what humans can adapt to given the extremely invasive sensory stimulants that come with a job. Think about it. Musicians get used to the deafening sound of their own music during stage performances. Assembly line workers might audibly envision the sound of musician's song over the painfully loud manufacturing machinery. And cashiers in retail stores scanning manufactured products might mistakenly anticipate the piercing beep of the barcodes they scan. These common scenarios are similar in that the negative connotations of the job have been a static part of the job for many years. The latter scenario, however, has one major difference. The method of the usage of the barcode is changing. While the barcode and related identification systems, such as the Universal Product Code, have been a major success in all industries across the globe, there is a current shift towards the growth of similar technological solutions that require little to no human involvement. As a person who has worked with these technologies in retail environments for several years, I believe this shift to be a mistake. The UPC in barcode is one of those rare occurrences in the history of technology where the intended outcome of several planned projects became the ultimately perfect solution. Primarily, barcode systems were developed to provide mechanical instruments that read encoded symbols. After the initial patent issue of research in the early 1950s, the North American railroad system adopted a barcode-based identification program. Several stages of testing took place until the program failed, but there was still a strong demand for similar systems in many American business fronts, including toll enforcement, postal delivery, and most predominantly, grocery chains. Eventually, food chains unified to implement large efforts toward the testing and improvement of barcode identification systems. Though there were a few setbacks throughout the many years in the process, the success came in the form of several standardized barcode symbology systems, including the 12-decimal digit Universal Product Code. The effect has been large-scale on the global economy because of the many benefits that have come from successful business solutions that rely on the barcode. So someone may be inclined to ask, if it's such a successful solution, then why change it? One major consideration is while the costs associated with distributing barcodes are almost non-existent, the cost of labor and technology used to manage those retail barcode systems are overwhelming. Beyond cost analysis, there are some performance and accuracy issues that many retail environments face, such as managing inventories and checkout incidents. Even with fully functional UPC systems and responsive databases, it's not uncommon for a sales clerk to scan an item during checkout only to be notified by a screen that the item is not recognized, or discover that a product is no longer in stock when the system details otherwise. These potential problems are, ultimately, caused by the reliance of the barcode. Beyond several alternatives, the one that is ever increasingly gaining usage in large retail chains is radio frequency identification. While RFID systems are certainly effective in resolving some of the issues discussed, they fail at being the best fitting, or in my terms perfect, technological solution for large retail environments. RFID tags transmit radio waves that contain some item-specific data that can be referenced to in a stored database. In receptive ranges, reader devices track frequencies and identify frequency sources relative to what is already stored in a database. Hence, RFID systems are a strong and growing segment of inventory management. With supplier compliance, a retail chain can immediately keep track of merchandise the instant a shipment makes its way into a storage area, onto the sales floor, and out of a store with a consumer. Undoubtedly, RFID systems are much more advanced in managing inventory, but the challenge lies in actually getting suppliers to comply. RFID technologies are quite costly in comparison to barcode-based efforts, and asking suppliers to incur more costs is a task that only the largest retail chains such as Target and Walmart could successfully achieve thus far. There are many other retail applications of RFID technology, but at the moment they are overly optimistic ideas. The picture has been painted many times. In Minority Report, Tom Cruise walks into a clothing store, the shopping assistant system greets him and makes note of his last purchase. Extending this idea, let's continue. The shopping assistant system reminds Cruise that he has 2 pieces of his own clothing being stored for him since he left them in the dressing rooms on his last visit. Cruise browses the store until he grabs a pair of jeans and enters a fitting room. The fitting room assistant system notifies Cruise that the waist size he selected is 2 sizes smaller than his last purchase, and suddenly there is a knock on the door. An employee greets him by name when he opens the door and hands him a pair with the correct waist size. As he is trying on the pair of jeans, a flat screen next to the mirror displays a combined cameo of other customers who have purchased the same pair. After the perfect fit, Cruise enters one of the various sales gate lines with other customers as they move through in a rapid pace, one at a time. A summary of the purchase total and the return policy is repeated to him as he walks through the gate, and he is greeted upon exiting the store. The pair of pants he entered the store with is removed from the dressing room where last left and placed with his other pieces of clothing in the customer storage room. The shopping assistant system automatically charges his account with the jeans he purchased and the storing fees accrued since his last visit. Placing privacy issues aside, one must consider, will buying a pair of jeans ever be such a smooth, carefree experience? It is not impossible, but there are many technical and financial hurdles that businesses must overcome to ensure a shopping experience free of error. There is a wide array of possible dilemmas that occur in retail environments that RFIDs fail to resolve, many of which I can personally attest to. What if in the Minority Report scenario the EPC, which is the electronic product code, an RFID equivalent of UPC, what if the EPC of the jeans were not recognizable by the sales gate? If a barcode UPC fails to be responsive at checkout in current retail systems, any trained sales associate may look up a part number and scan the barcode into the system, or print a working one within minutes, if not seconds. If RFIDs are solely the responsibility of suppliers, then retail employees will most likely not be trained to reprogram radio frequency responsive systems. It's common sense. So ultimately, the best solution to a situation like that is providing customers an optional scan-in barcode system that cross-references EPCs with UPCs when the RFID signal fails. And that's just one of the reasons why I consider barcode and UPC systems to be the ultimate solution in retail systems. Somewhere along the way, there will always be a need for a fast and easily creatable identification combination. The barcode is the perfect source for reading simple symbols, cheap and quick, while the UPC is the most adaptable and consistent barcode symbology for all retail environments.